There are some things that improve with age and over time. Some wines don't reach their peak until they have been aged for years. A 20-year-old bottle of scotch is much smoother tasting than your average over-the-counter 8-year-old scotch. Fine cheeses are usually aged before they are considered ready for consumption, and there is nothing like a finely dry-aged premium steak. However, most superior athletes will stand out among their peers from the time they first don the athletic equipment. Joe Simonoko, although always a solid athlete from the time he was a young boy, really grew into his finest after graduating high school from Suffield in 1981. He left Suffield as a fine athlete with a solid resume, only to develop into one of the very best starting pitchers in the Big East Baseball Conference. Always interested in athletics as a youth, Joe began playing sports, particularly baseball, at a young age. He was a member of the Rotary team in Suffield Little League for 3 years, becoming their number one starting pitcher after fellow Hall of Famer Larry Tavino left the team. In Joe's first 2 years on the Rotary team, the team went undefeated. Joe was also selected to the All-Star team in his final year and was the number one starting pitcher and shortstop for that team. After Little League, Joe went on to play Senior League for Baker's Nursery. That team went undefeated for 3 straight years, 2 of which Joe was again the number one starting pitcher and shortstop. He also was chosen to the Senior League All-Star team for Suffield, and was again the number one starting pitcher for that team. In high school, Joe became one of the best starting pitchers Suffield has had. However, Joe was not a one-sport athlete. Joe was the starting center for 2 years on the Suffield High basketball team, lettering for 3 years. In 1980, the team was the NCCC champs, and in Joe's senior season, he was named to the NCCC All-Conference team. Joe also played for the Suffield High boys soccer team, playing goalie for the varsity in his final 2 years. In both of those seasons, the team went on to the Class M state championship game, only to lose in the final game. Joe was the starting goalie on the 1980 team that lost to St. Paul of Bristol in the final game. However, Joe really stood out at Suffield High for his success on the baseball diamond. Joe was a 4-year letterman on the team and was a starting pitcher for his final 3 years. His junior and senior years, Joe was, once again, the number one starting pitcher. As strong a pitcher as Joe was, he was also an outstanding fielder and, when not pitching, played starting shortstop for his final 2 years. Joe was named to the NCCC All-Conference for both his junior and senior years and was named captain his senior year. He also played Legion Ball for Windsor Locks from 1979 through 1981. For all 3 years, he was named to the Legion All-Star team, and in his final year, he was named Windsor Locks Legion MVP. Joe was always one of the hardest-throwing right-handers in the NCCC, but his all-around pitching repertoire did not fully develop until he stepped onto the campus of UConn in Storrs, Connecticut. Joe attended UConn from the fall of 1981 through the spring of 1985. He lettered for the UConn baseball team for all 4 years. During his tenure there, he developed into one of the better pitchers in the Big East, primarily due to the development of a hard slider. One fellow Suffield High School teammate of Joe's said this about him. Joe came back in the spring of 1982 during one weekend and pitched batting practice to our baseball team. It was like he had become an entirely new pitcher. He had always thrown really hard, but when he threw that slider to us, none of us could hit it. Joe pitched in relief for most of his freshman year at UConn, but was named a starting pitcher his sophomore year. In his first 2 years, he helped the team to the finals of the Yankee Conference Tournament. During his junior and senior years, he helped pitch the team to the Big East Tournament. He was named the starting pitcher for UConn in the first game of the 1985 Big East Tournament. He was selected as captain of the team during his senior year and was one of the better starting pitchers in the conference. During Joe's years at UConn, he was selected to play in the prestigious Cape Cod Summer Baseball League, playing for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. The Cape Cod League is one of the very best summer baseball leagues in the country, often including many future Major League players on its rosters. Joe was an outstanding athlete during his years at Suffield High and was truly a leader both on and off the playing field. However, Joe truly improved with years and experience and ended his Yukon baseball career as one of the best pitchers in the Big East Conference. Joe Simonoko now lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, with his wife Dawn and 2 kids, Connor and Hope.